wonderful to see you all here tonight. It's fantastic to welcome you, and I want you all to have a great evening. Enjoy yourselves, because remember, tomorrow's Monday. I'd like you now to all welcome your president and founder, B. Tolman, my wife, and the rest of the family board.
Red Carnation Hotels began as a love story, a journey that began over 60 years ago, and it has lasted a lifetime. At the heart of this story is our founder and our president, Beatrice Tolman. It all began back in the early 50s when a beautiful young South African woman named Bee, my mother, caught the eye of a distinguished hotelier named Stanley, who always wore a miniature red carnation flower in his lapel. In the summer of 1952, my parents took a road trip to Durban, and my father invited my mother for dinner at the famed Oyster Box Hotel. My mother tasted an oyster for the first time and spat it out at the table. This must have left a great impression on my father, because on the 7th of March 1954, my parents were married and the wedding reception was held at the Carlton Hotel in Johannesburg. As newlyweds of modest beginnings, my parents shared a love and a passion for world-class hospitality, exquisite style, fine cuisine and grand architecture, which set the foundations and the building blocks for a lifelong and successful career in hospitality. They started their dream and leased a small property in Johannesburg and called it the Nugget Hotel, where my father focused on front of house, while my mother was responsible for all the food coming out of the kitchen. Soon after that, they bought their second property, which was the Hyde Park Hotel, where the glamorous Colony restaurant was created. It was the first boutique hotel of its kind to offer elegant cuisine, supper club ambience with dining, dancing, and it had the most famous international cabaret stars of the time perform there. My mother found herself in the kitchen in the most famous hotel and restaurant, and the only female head chef in South Africa. My parents became the most famous hoteliers in the country with the very first collection of boutique hotels. But in 1975, due to the unacceptable political situation in South Africa, we moved to London, where the next chapter of their story unfolds. In 1984, they bought the Chesterfield Hotel in prestigious Mayfair, and my mother decided to call the company Red Carnation Hotels, after the signature flower my father always wore. Since then, it has been a remarkable journey, which many of you have been part of. In 2006, my parents bought the Oyster Box Hotel in Durban, South Africa, the very place where they shared their first dinner together back in 1952. 3 years later, my mother was awarded the prestigious accolade of Hotelier of the Year at the 2012 European Hospitality Awards. a reflection of her ongoing dedication and passion, and applauded by guests and industry alike. In May 2013, the biggest jewel to the Red Carnation crown was added with the magnificent Ashford Castle. And a major refurbishment was soon underway to bring the castle back to its former glory. It has since been voted the best hotel in the world, and we're all so proud of this incredible achievement. In 2016, my mother received the Hotel Katie's Lifetime Achievement Award and was named Leading Legend by the leading hotels of the world. The love story continues as we celebrate together this evening to recognize the people at the very heart of Red Carnation Hotels. We are truly the very best in the hotel industry, and thanks to all of you for everything you do each and every day to make our guest experience so special.
Well, it's fantastic they're all here tonight. There is, I'm really proud to say, an extra big announcement to be made. Currently, standing here, we have 17 Red Carnation hotels, but I can tell you that as from tomorrow, we have 18 hotels in Red Carnation Hotels. This super jewel, as you see, is in Botswana. It's going to be the very best game reserve in Africa, having the big five. So watch this space. It's our new addition to Red Carnation Hotels. So the final award before we start our food tonight is a very special award, and many of you in this room will remember the absolutely amazing, brilliant and talented Chris Campbell from the Chesterfield Hotel. As you know, he suddenly passed, but he's in our minds. Not a day goes by without us thinking of this incredible man. And we started the Chris Campbell Award, and I'm delighted to invite Chris's wife, Hema, and one of his sons, Curtis, on the stage to give the award. Please put your hands together for Hema and Curtis. This is it's always the most difficult award to give because no one is Chris. And although we have many individuals who do an unbelievable job, to find the award for Chris is a difficult one. But this year, it goes to a man who also works very much front of house, has worked there in the concierge team for many years. And he came to us now in his 60s and said, Governor, I think it's time I pack up my boots. I can't be working here every day anymore. I love it. If you need me, I'll come back and do a few shifts, but I think it's about time I retired. So, I might have given it away. Reuben's Hotel, Mr. David Brown!
I got that sunshine in my creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. Come on, all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling, so just dance, dance, dance. I'm so high, no ceiling when I'm in my...
So I've worked for Mr. and Mrs. Tolman for 21 years coming up now. But as I said, as Mr. Raggett said, the old git was going to require now because I'm nearly 71 this year. So, but they want me back for a few days. I've got to come back. And what I've heard so far, I think I've got to come back sooner than they say. But thank you very much to everybody here. And so sad as I know that, but I hope everybody enjoys themselves at the party. And thank you very much. Thank you.
E mi chiedo vale la pena di restare qui abbracciati mentre il giorno non c'è più e la luna da lassù fa da specchio ai nostri baci. Se ti guardo dentro agli occhi mentre già mi batte il cuore e ti dico che per me stare insieme qui con te ha il sapore dell'amore.
I have a little surprise tonight now for Mrs. Tolman. And as many of you know, at the back end of 2017, I was truly delighted that Red Carnation Hotels won the Princess Royal Training Awards. The award is open to all sectors of business that demonstrate learning and development that leads to business success. The panel is made up of just 6 people with huge experience who assess each entry to ensure Her Royal Highness Princess Anne meets every single criteria. Tonight, I am delighted that one of those 6 great people, Anne Brown, is with us tonight. Her Royal Highness Princess Royal is an active advocate for skills education, is very closely involved in the review of the submissions, and generously gives her name and time to support and celebrate the awards and their purpose. Please welcome Anne Brown to stage as a very special guest.
On behalf of the commissioners who work and support Her Royal Highness, the Princess Royal, Princess Anne, the comments that were against this particular nomination was about setting the tone from the top. It was about having that authentic passion, and obviously something, Mrs. Tolman, you have led through your own leadership style through the organisation. The culture of commitment to training and excellence is very authentic. So for that reason, you are awarded with the Princess Royal Training Award this evening. Okay.
Just you and me, it's where I gotta be, but I already know. Ooh, this building on the side. Oh, I'll never forget the way you look tonight.
Well, it's a long time since I was serenaded to, but it was a wonderful song, and I thank the gentleman who sang it for me. But this is such a special night. It's the one night of the year that I look forward to at the beginning of each year and can't wait to come here to... Please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down. Don't stand up. Because I'm going to talk for a long time and you're going to get very tired. Not really, but anyway, this is the night of each year that means so much to me. And I'm here because I want to thank each and every one of you for what you do to help our hotel company to become famous. We're small as a group of hotels. Thank you, Jonathan. It's going to be 18, but it's small by comparison in room numbers and in sizes and in how many hotels we have. But we've managed to make a mark in the world of running a very, very successful and well-admired group of hotels. And it's all because of what you do. It's the staff, it's the passion that you all put into every day, each day that you work in our hotels, always with a smile, always being sincere. You know, every day I read every report from every hotel in great detail, every single thing, what we sold in the restaurants, what the rates were, who was in what room. And then I read the guest comments, each and every one of them. And you know, it thrills me each and every day when I read it because they always say, oh, I loved the room, I enjoyed the food, I liked this hotel or that, but it was the staff. It was the staff that was so wonderful. And you have helped to make Red Carnation what it is today, a beautiful group of small hotels that are admired, and we've won so many awards for what our hotels are like and what we do. And so tonight is to thank you, and can't express really what I feel from my heart, because where would we be without each and every one of you, no matter what position you hold in the hotels, no matter what you do, your dedication, your passion, your pride in our properties shows through to our guests. And so each day I get these wonderful reports, and I thank you all for that. Who could have ever dreamt that this would have happened to us? As you heard from my daughter Vicky, who gave you sort of a short resume of our lives, my husband and I, when we started, thank you. Well, as you heard, when we started, you know, I'm a nursery school teacher by profession, but I never had a chance to teach. I thought I'll just help my husband because his dream was to own the best restaurant in South Africa, as famous as the Colony restaurant that he read about on our honeymoon. He was 22, I was 19. So I said, well, all right, I'd like to come and help you the first little bits until we get going, and then I'll start teaching. So I'll go to the kitchen and I will help you with the hors d'oeuvres and the desserts. Well, the hors d'oeuvres were grapefruit cocktail out of a tin, fruit cocktail out of a tin, and a crayfish cocktail. For the chefs gave me the sauce and the crayfish, and I put them together. And apple tart and cream. That was my cooking experience. Well, the next hotel, he had a dream. He wanted to make this hotel the most famous in the world, which was the Colony, which had the restaurant in it called the Colony. And he designed it, he did everything. And I said, well, I'll just go on helping you. Well, 15 years later, I was still in the kitchens. And we had, you know, we did everything ourselves. He was in the front taking orders, bringing in the orders from the guests. And I was in the kitchen seeing that all the orders went out. So I had to learn a lot about cooking. And we only had coal stoves in those days. And I can still remember going to the back of the coal stoves and stoking them with coal because the fire wasn't hot enough for grilling the meat on. And then I found a lovely young man who was washing the dishes, And I thought, oh, he's very talented. I'll train him to make the desserts and the starters. And then we had other wonderful people that we trained. And every night we ran full at the colony, and then we extended the colony to have more guests because it was so popular. And so the nights used to begin at about 7:30. I'd come in a nice dress, I'd put on my white uniform, and then I would start with the whole thing, the hors d'oeuvres, then the soups, then the fish, and so on and so forth. And I would be at one station, and I had another lady who was at another station, and we used to sit there and serve all of these meals. But there were more restaurants in the same hotel. We had a fish restaurant called the Contented Soul. We had another one called the Hideaway, and then we opened the first discotheque in South Africa. So those were the nights, and I would get out of the kitchen at maybe 1 o'clock, 1:30. I'd make some sandwiches and go to the bar where my husband was cashing up. We'd get home at about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and up again with 4 children in between, and school, etc., etc. But we loved what we did. It was a very I shouldn't say difficult life, but it was really a hard life because there wasn't much time for sleeping. But then the hotel became so popular and the colony became so popular that we started bringing cabaret artists from all over the world. The most famous people came. My husband used to go overseas to make the bookings for them. And so we had very lively times in that hotel. And it was some of the happiest days of our lives. And then we started getting another hotel and another one and so on. And then we built the first 10-star hotel in Johannesburg called the Towers. And that was 26 stories high, and it became the most famous hotel in South Africa. And I decorated the whole hotel, and I supervised the kitchens. My husband did everything else. And it was a wonderful, wonderful time, you know, to give you the chance to create things. And so this went on with our lives, and we've always worked together. We've been so lucky that we have been so happily married and worked with the same objects and ambitions. And so today, after all of this time, starting with, you know, our first hotel in London, the Chesterfield, and so on, we've now got our 17 wonderful hotels that have really been recognized around the world as being so well run. And it's thanks to you all and what you do with your passion and your care and your love for our guests that we've reached this point where we are well recognized around the world with some wonderful awards. And for all of this, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for working with me, for being with all of us. And the most important person I have to thank tonight, other than my husband, is Mr. Raggett. He's the most wonderful managing director. He is the most outstanding and fair gentleman. He's a real gentleman, and he's a leader of men, and everybody who works with him admires him and treasures what he does because he's the most amazing man. And I'll never forget, we were looking for a manager for Reuben's Hotel when we first bought it, and we decided to go to Guernsey, and we asked Mick Holland, who's sitting here, who is the best manager that you could think of in Guernsey? So he said, well, there's a young man, he's the assistant manager at this hotel, why don't you go over and meet him? And Jonathan came, we went there, Jonathan came over and gave us a big shake of hands. He always had such a warm shake, and we thought, this is the man for us, and he came to Reuben's as the manager. And he's grown with the company, and today I think he must be the greatest managing director of any hotel group. I'm embarrassing him. But it's the truth. And I think everybody who works with Jonathan realizes what a fantastic leader he is. And he watches over every detail. He's never frightened to travel all over the place to go and see how the hotels are doing and give his magic. So I thank you, Jonathan, from the bottom of my heart. I thank you all for a wonderful evening. I want you to enjoy every minute of it because these beautiful moments pass so quickly. So have a wonderful evening. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being everything that you are to me and to our hotel. Thank you.
You're A-OK, you're sweet honey, you're fine, so fine, you're mine, you're all mine. Tick-tock, it's so hot, hot, hot. Don't watch the clock, you're running out of time. You're gonna make me feel so good. I want my head to explode with a rush of blood. So hot, so hot, I'm going out of my mind. Tick-tock, tick-tock,
is a beautiful human being, a beautiful woman, and just the nicest animal lover and kind to everybody is Tyler Liebenberg from the Oyster Box Hotel. Unfortunately, Tyler, somebody has to look after the Oyster Box when our other general manager and chef of the year are here. So Tyler is going to get this award, and she deserves it. She's the most beautiful person and very capable. So Wayne is going to take the award home. And this is the first time we've ever done this, but the hotel of the year this year is Hotel 41. Tonight is for the General Manager of the Year, and I'm proud to say it's Michael Nell from the 12 Apostles. We've had fires, we've had so many emergencies and frightening things, and he's handled it all, contained it. He went like this, and the fire never came into the hotel.
Take it loose with the unthinkable. Don't stop till you come first. Life's too unpredictable. Take control of what you're worth. Wasting time's forgivable, but nobody wants to grow. It's time for the original to come and break them all. Make it
residence. Now the